You ready? Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Frank Muhammad with the Dayton Leadership Entrepreneurs Leadership Academy. We want to just congratulate you all for getting on the line this morning or this evening to join in our class, our leadership class. We have these classes every Monday night, and we want to share some valuable information with you about running a business, building a team, and a whole lot of other facets. But before we start, we want to go into prayer, okay? Because we believe that God is holy and that he leads us into all things. So let's go into a quick prayer before we begin our class. Father, we just thank you tonight in the name of Jesus for just bringing us together, this group that's online, this group that decided to participate in the class. And Father, I pray tonight that you have your way with my words, you have your way with this production, and you have your way with this class. Father, we don't have anything to say. Everything comes from you. So, Lord, use us tonight. We'll give you praise and glory and honor and strength. We ask it all tonight. In Jesus' mighty name, let us all say amen and amen. Well, once again, we just want to welcome you out tonight. Usually we do our classes in a classroom setting with people, but we have decided to go this route because it seems that more people are getting information better in the comforts of their home. If you don't have a notebook or a pen, I would encourage you to grab one because you're going to have to write down some notes tonight on what we're going to discuss tonight. So tonight, what we want to do, we want to talk about this, building a team. Communicating and motivating your team. You know how people today don't know how to get a team started. They don't know the qualifications of what it takes to start a team of people. If you're building a business or a ministry, if you're building a service-based industry or a business or a nonprofit even, you still need the ability to build a team. And there are some very important things you need to do in order to do that. If you're going to build a strong team, you've got to be a strong individual. You've got to be ready to know exactly what it is you want in building your business, your ministry, or an office, whatever it is, you need help to do that. So tonight what we want to do is we want to talk about 6 things that you need to do to build a team. And these 6 things, there are many things, but these 6 to me stand out because you're going to need these 6 things to build a team, okay? Tonight, what we want to do, if you're just starting out in a business, if you're just starting out and you don't know where to begin, how do I build a team? Well, here's the steps you'll need to take in order to do that, especially in your business. The first thing you need to do if you're going to build a team is you need to choose good people. You need to choose good people for your team. In other words, what I'm saying is you got to get people that are qualified people. You got to get people that have the ability to do their job. If I'm not good in finances, I need someone that's an expert in finances. And not only that, pay them well. Pay them well to manage the finances. Now, does that mean I negate my responsibilities over my own money? No. But what it means is I'm paying for the expertise for someone to guard the business, guard the money, to guard the accounts. And it takes people that are good with that. They have degrees. They may have MBAs. They may have a master's degree in business. But you need to get qualified people that can do that. Okay? Now, the second thing you need to do under this heading of choosing good people, you got to have people with good integrity. Integrity, when you're choosing good people, means this. What they mean is what they say. Their words and their actions line up together. There's no questioning their integrity or their character. They're at one with their words. If they say no, it's no. If they say yes, it's yes. But you need people that are real people that can tell you like it is. If they say this is not a good idea, then you gotta figure out why it's not a good idea, because of their integrity, and you trust them. So you need people of integrity if you're going to get good people to build your business or your ministry or whatever God has called you to do. But not only that, you got to have people, if you're building a team of good people, you got to have people that put the team first. You don't want people who have self-ambitions. You don't want people that it's all about them and nobody else. You got to have people that are team-oriented. They are selfless people. They will be successful upon the fact that it's about the team. If you build a solid team of people, then there is your success. Your success is in your team. So you can't do anything without people anyway. So you need people who put people first, who put the team first. They put their personal agendas across and all that. They're mission oriented. They know exactly what the mission is, and they work together as a team to do it. Now, this is still under good people. You got to have people that are team oriented and put the team first. Well, I mean, that's good, right? So having good people on your team, there's one thing you need under good people. They need to be goal oriented. They need to be people that have goals for their life, that have goals for their family. You don't want people on your team that aim aimlessly, that never have a target, that never have something to shoot for and plan for. So you need people on your team that are goal-oriented. They're always setting goals. I'm going to show you something very quickly. Now, this is my little junk sheet, okay? This sheet right here that I'm having in my hand, I have 4 different groups of things that I work on, okay? But check this out. Each 4 of these has a limit of 6 goals each. I have my home life. I have the band that I play with. I have goals with them. The condo here that we have, the Newlight Enterprise, the Dayton Entrepreneurs Leadership Academy, we have goals that we set here for this. And then we also manage this entire facility, its finances and its business. And we have goals for that. See, what I'm trying to say is you need goals. You cannot do anything if it's not written down. Don't trust anything to your memory. Always write everything down. And then you make adjustments. If you can't accomplish everything or 1 or 2 things, you simply wait till tomorrow and then put that back on the list again. And this is just the list for the last 2 days. So again, choose people on your team that are goal-oriented. They know what they want. They know what they want to shoot for, okay? All right. Now, what else do you have to do to build a good team? Number 1, we've already went over, you have to choose good people, okay? They have to be qualified. They got to have integrity. They got to put the team first. They got to be team-oriented, and they have to have goals. But what about number 2? Well, this is what you need, number 2, if you're going to build a good team. You got to get to know your people. You got to know your people. You cannot build a business with people that you're distanced from. You cannot have a team of people that is all, you don't know them. See, you have to be personal with your team. You have to get on a personal level with them before you can get on the professional level with them. What do you know about their families? What do you know about their wives? What do you know about their goals, their dreams? What about their aspirations that they have for themselves? Where do they want to take their families? You see, you got to have people that you got to get to know. You got to know people. Now, a lot of people don't want to know people because sometimes they can be difficult. But guess what? There's good in all people. You just got to figure out how to get it out of them. Now, watch this. We got gifted people with qualifications. They may have a cold personality. They may not be expressive people. They may not be amiable people. But there are people that handle the business and do it. But you still can get to know them. You still can pull them aside on the personal level if they're not a group type of people. They may be for the team. They keep the team first. But maybe they're not expressive people. So what do you do with that? You got to get to know them on the personal level. There's a reason why they're like that. They're very direct. They're straightforward people. So you get to know those people. Get to know your people and spend time mentoring them to make them greater leaders. When you get good people and you get to know them, don't keep them beneath you. Take them with you. We're all leaders. If we're all in a company together, it should be very difficult for people to distinguish who's who. Because if you're a team, if you're the CEO, if you are the janitor, it should be very difficult for me to distinguish who's who. You know why? Because all of us have the same philosophy. All of us have the same goal in mind. All of us have the same mission statement in mind. So that, when Nike says just do it, go study Nike company and you will see the fabric of the philosophy running entirely through the company. Even to the janitor, he knows the mission statement. See, everybody knows where they're going. Everybody feels important in a company. Everybody should feel important in a ministry because they own it. They feel they own the company. They own what they've been called to do. So just remember, brothers and sisters, spend time mentoring people to make leaders of them, okay? That's the greatest compliment a business owner or a ministry can have for people, that they can own what they do. Why? Because you get to know them. You get to know people. You know them. Well, what about number 3? Okay, we're still talking about building a team. All right, we went over choosing good people, right? We went over getting to know your people if you're going to be working with people. Well, what about the third thing? And this one is going to take a minute because it requires us not to take the credit, okay? Here's number 3. Have the ability to win with people. You have to have the ability, let me repeat that again, to win with people. Well, how do you win with people? Well, I've got 6 things for that on how you win with people. This is all under number 3. 6 things. If you're going to work with people that have the ability to win with them, the number 1 trait you got to have if you're building with people to build a good team is this. You got to build relationships. You have to have relationships with people. I don't care who you are. You should be able to be in touch with the people on the floor. No CEO, and I know the CEO of any company cannot reach multitudes of people. We know that's impossible. But they should be willing to come down on the floor sometime, to ask the people how they're doing, to know people. You may not know everybody's names, but they know something. They're willing to get in and do the work with the people. They don't feel that their position is so high that they can't get in a machine to repair it or get on an assembly line to learn. That's how you build relationships, because you know what people are going through. You know what they do. So if you're going to win with people, you got to build relationships. Well, what other thing do you have to do when you got to build relationships? You have to know people's personality types, okay? You have to know people that are driven, amiable, direct, people who are distant. You have to know, or people that even are controlling. You've got to know people's personality types if you're going to win with them. Because a person who is direct may not be good with people who need wisdom, who need things explained to them. People who tend to be very direct sometimes don't have patience with people. They don't have a patience to understand where they're coming from. They just want results and they want to get things done. And nothing wrong with that. You need some people to push, to be pushers when they're building a business. Nothing wrong with that. But again, you got to build relationships. You got to get to know people's personality types. But there's another thing you got to do if you're going to win with people. You have to be people focused. You have to be people focused. Not so much on the task that you need to get done, which you will have. You will have a lot of things to do in your business. You will have a lot of phone calls to make. You will have contracts to sign. But the bottom line is, If you're going to run your business or your ministry, you got to be people focused, because that is your base. Those are the people who support you. Those are the people who go to bat for you. Those are the people who will give everything up to win as a team. So be people focused and not task oriented. Well, what else do you need to have the ability to win with people? Get in agreement with people quickly. Get in agreement with people quickly so that you can create a win-win situation. People got to know why. If they roll with you in business, if they roll with you in ministry, they got to have a reason why they're going to win. They got to win. People are not prone to follow losers. And we know a lot of people that can do that. And those people who have taken shortcuts, we find them in the annals of history, the mistakes they've made, the civilizations they've destroyed, all because they didn't look into the people. So if you're going to work with people and win with people, get in agreement with them. Find common ground. Find the common ground you're going to need to get in agreement with them, and ask a lot of questions. Ask questions. What is it you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? If we work together, what is your expectation of me? Because I'll have some for you, but we're going to win together. What are your gifts and talents? What do you like to do the most? Are you good with media? I'm not. But you can be over the media and own it. Are you over the finances or the decisions? I may not be good at that, but you are. But guess what? I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to pay you well to do that. And you will have ownership over what you're doing. And all we do is come together. See, successful people, let me get this to you. Successful people hire people smarter than them to be successful. They hire people more smarter than them. I may not have a master's degree in economics or accounting, but I know somebody that's so good at it that they went to school to get it. And if they roll with us, hey, man, you tell me if you're going to do my taxes or accounting, you are the man. You are the woman. You're the one with the degree. Your integrity is on the line. Pick people that are smarter than you. Now, you may say to yourself, well, I can't do that. That's going to make me look dumb. No, it's not. It's not going to make you look dumb. Because what you got to do as a CEO or a person who's building a brand, you have to make yourself insignificant. You make yourself insignificant to the point that everybody around you is shining. Everybody around you is glowing. And you're right there with them because they're very important to you. And you take care of them to do that. So remember, get in agreement with them. But not only that, once you get in agreement with people, and we're still under winning with people, take action immediately to keep winning. Take action immediately to win. Don't waste time. If an idea comes to you or the team, and the team is emotionally riled up about it, guess what? We got to move on it. Why? Because if you don't move on it, the fire, it will die out. It will die out because the moment came, we didn't seize it. A month from now, it's forgotten. Nobody remembered what it was. And if God gives you an idea to run your business and something worked, get a journal and write it in the journal immediately. Don't put anything into memory. Don't trust your memory. Write it down. Write down what worked because you may have to go back and find that technique or find that method that worked. So remember, take action immediately so that you can keep winning with the people that you have. I hope that what I'm saying is helping because we're still under having the ability to win with people. Well, what about issues? What about confronting problems within the organization? How do you deal with problems? Well, you have to ask questions. You have to ask people the most important question, and that is why. Not who, what, where, or how. The most important question that you can ask when it comes to issues is why. You see, the question why deals with motives and intentions. If you ask somebody why they did it, why do you think that way? They have to have a logic or reason to explain to you why that is so. And sometimes it can be flawed. Sometimes it's wrong altogether. So if you're going to deal with issues with people, you got to give the right space. You got to give the right time. And good leaders will find a way to win, find a way to work through the issues, even if it takes time. Remember, nobody's perfect, okay? You're going to have people, and listen, you're going to have problems. But you have to have a positive mental attitude when you're dealing with people. Now, listen, you're human. You have a humanity about you. You might get angry sometimes. But if you're going to be a boss, if you're going to be a CEO of a company, people watch more how you respond than what you say. They watch how you respond to crisis, and that will reveal your integrity. That will reveal your character. So don't speak on something when you're angry. Calm down, think about what you're going to say, then say it. So remember, if you're dealing with issues, people are hot-headed, they got tempers, but you cannot feed into that with them, because now they brought you out of your element as the leader or as the CEO, and now you're down here at this level. You can't do that with them. You got to rise above it all and focus on your top tier that are producing. And then sooner or later, when the person can't deal long enough, they'll weed themselves out. They will weed themselves out because they've outgrown the mission, or they haven't caught up with the mission. They haven't caught up with the purpose as to why they're with you. So you will make mistakes, and make them quickly. Make your mistakes quickly, because it's the best education you'll ever make. It's the best education you'll ever get. Fail, and fail quickly. All right? So that's building a team. You're going to have problems, but you got to be positive at all times. You have to be learned. You cannot run a company and be dumb. You have to read books. If you have a problem about something, go get a book on that problem. Get knowledge. Knowledge will give you the awareness and the enlightenment to answer critical issues. This will help you very much. So just remember that, okay? So what else are we going to do? I mean, we're building the team, okay? We got to choose good people, right? We got to get to know our people. Number 3, we have to have the ability to win with people. Well, what about number 4? Well, here's a good one. Create your own leadership style and be human. Create your own leadership style and be human. Do not wear a facade around people. People in their discernment and intuition can pick up on fake people. You don't want to be fake with people. You need to be genuine with people. Create your own leadership style. Everybody's not the same. Me and Reggie Morgan may not handle one situation the same, you see. But that's because God gave us a unique leadership style, and our leadership styles complement each other. That's what makes it work. That's what makes it work. Iron sharpens iron, okay? So that's what it takes. You got to build your own leadership style. You have to let God make you into the person he's making you to be. Well, what about it? How do you do it? Well, I'm going to give you 4 things under this heading of creating your own leadership style. How do you start it out? I'll give you 4. Here's number 1 if you're going to build a team with communication. Be an icebreaker, okay? Break the ice with people, okay? I love laughter. I love to joke around with people, but I'm also serious too. People need to know that you're not so serious all the time. And people will tell you, basically, get over yourself. You got to be a real person. Be able to be an icebreaker with people. Get to know people right up front. Let them know that, oh, he's a supervisor or CEO, but he's still a person. You know, he comes and talks to me. He listens to my problems. He breaks the ice with me. I may not be having a good day. What I'm asking you to do today is be human with your people. Be human with your people. Be honest with your people. Tell them, listen, I failed at this. You know, I'm not doing too good in this area, but I'm striving at it. We need to be real with people, okay? And this is part of communication. If you're going to break the ice, if you're going to be human with your people, but also this, learn to communicate. Again, notice I'm going to be repeating some things over and over. Asking questions. See, the greatest answer to anything is really in the question. See, the people don't understand that the power is not an answer. It's in the question. If you ask the right questions, guess what? The answer will be in the question. If you ask the right question. So ask a lot of questions. You want to challenge people's thinking. You want to challenge them to say, hey, you know what? I didn't think about that before. I'm glad I talked to you about that. I didn't look at it that way. Whatever the problem is or whatever the goal is, you got to be somebody that can communicate by asking questions. This is part of communication. And we're still under creating your own leadership style. And watch this. What's the next thing you do after you communicate by asking questions? You let the person speak, right? But you touch the personal side of the person. In other words, I can be the CEO of the company, but they should not have fear and trepidation to come and talk to me. They should be able to come to me and say, hey, man, I need to talk to you about something. And I'm having a problem at home. It could be my finances, my marriage, whatever it is. Good leaders listen to people on the personal level. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is part of communication with people. You touch them on the personal side, okay? There are many of these, but these are the ones that really stick out to me because what I'm teaching is what I strive to live by every day. I supervise multitudes of people, and I run businesses. I run 1 or 2 businesses, me and my friend Reggie Morgan. We started Newlight Enterprise, a Dayton Entrepreneurs Leadership. We're here in the beautiful studio of Juni's Productions, LLC, where we're doing the podcast live. Nothing is impossible. And watch this. The philosophy that we teach here, the entrepreneurs that are here with us, they follow that same lead. They have servant mentalities. Isn't that right, Tish? They follow the model. We do things out of love for people. We get to know people. Okay? All right. Are you ready for number 5? Actually, I got 7. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here we are, number 5. See, I write things down because I want to keep the train of thought that I have. I don't want to veer off because this is instructional teaching for you. Okay? All right. So what do you want to do to build a team? We've already went over the last 3 or 4 or 5, right? Well, here's number 5. Here it is. If you're going to be a team, be intentional. Be intentional. What is my intention in what I'm doing? See, when you meet with people, you should already strive to have something laid out, a plan. You can't be intentional if you don't know what you're doing. You got to be intentional. And what does that mean? It means this: know where you're going and have a plan on how to get there. Know where you're going and have a plan as to how you and that person or that group or that team is going to get there. And it takes prayer, but it takes planning. Because, see, God cannot bless you without a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to have a goal. You got to have something to look at, to shoot at. But it's not just for you. It's for everybody with you. You got to do that. So know where you're going and have a plan on how to get there. Okay? Now, what else do you got to do if you're going to be intentional with people? Well, I've said this 2 or 3 times throughout the lesson. Be direct. Be direct when you have to be. Be direct with people when you have to be. Some people need direction. They need something straightforward. Do this, do it now, get it done today. Some people need direct communication. But then, here's the funny part. You've got some people, they're expressive. They need wisdom. They need wisdom for you to get your point across because they can't see it. Direct people can see it because it's clear. But there are some people who still may not be able to see it. So you need to use wisdom or parables in such a way that they can get it, that they can grasp it. All right? So I hope you're getting something out of this, being intentional. When you're being intentional, if you're going to write something down, if you're going to plan anything, if you're going to build that team, do it. You got to do it. You can't say, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. Well, I'll get to it in a couple of days. Right now, I got this going on. No. If something was put upon you to do, then your intention at that moment is to get it done. You know why? Successful people do what failures fail to do. Successful people do what failures fail to do. They don't want to do it. Successful people do what people do not want to do. They stay up till 2 and 3 in the morning. They stay at work late. They come in early. They see something, and because of that, they sacrifice their lives and their times. They're intentional. You see, successful people, again, I have to stress this to you. Successful people do the things that people don't want to do. If you're going to run a business and you want to do it when you feel like it, you're going to fail. You're not going to be successful. You got to make sacrifices. You got to have time away from people. You got to develop yourself, read books. You got to go to seminars. You got to stay up. You got to constantly be calling people. You got to be intentional. It's not going to work if you just, it's not going to happen. All right? So let's go to number 6, okay? We could spend a lot of time on number 5, being intentional. Well, what about number 6? This one is probably the most difficult for a leader. It's probably the most difficult. I would say it is when it comes to building a team. And here it is. Be an active listener. Be an active listener. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. Dialogue has a two-way communication. Dialogue is a communication between two people, or a person and a group, or a person and a stadium, whatever it is. Dialogue, an active listener, is engaging another individual and giving them their full attention. Giving them their full attention, locking eyes on them, looking into the windows of their soul, because they have to feel that they are heard. But not only that, they're understood. But listening is a skill. You don't get listening up front. Listening is a skill that you have to develop. You have to develop being a good listener. And it takes practice. Let me tell you why I say that. You could be talking to someone, but your mind is somewhere else. You could be talking to someone, but you want to jump in and cut them off and answer them before they can get out what they really have to say. This is the greatest disrespect to people, when we don't let them complete what they have to say and listen. And watch this. Remember I said earlier, ask questions. Okay, why did you say that? What do you mean by that? I need to be clear. Let me explain to you what you just said to me, and then let me ask you some questions, because I just want to understand you. I want to know where you're coming from, because I want you to know that I'm listening. I'm not hearing. I'm listening. Listening is a spiritual act, not a physical one. Hearing is a physical act, but listening is from the heart, okay? You listen from the heart to people, all right? So when you do, be an active listener. Leadership is about seeing people first, then the body language. You see the person first, then the body language. Okay? You don't pay attention to what they're acting like at first. You listen to them first. And if you see them squirming, making gestures, they're uncomfortable, you don't focus on that. You focus on them first, seeing them as a person. Then you deal with body language later, okay? Because remember, the mind only executes what it thinks, what it feels. If a person is talking to me and they look uncomfortable, It means they're having a difficult time expressing themselves to me because their body language is telling me they're not confident in what they're expressing to me. So as a leader, I got to see that right up front. They're not comfortable. Let me see if I can make them comfortable. If I could see them as a human being first, not an employee, not somebody I hired, not somebody I pay, but as a human being first. Let me listen to them first, then ask questions, and then explain to them what they just spoke to me. I hope this is really helping you. Be an active listener. But not only that, be in the moment with your team. Have fun, laugh. Everything is not always serious. Be in the moment with your team. Watch this, both as with an individual and when we're together. Be in the moment with people. God only gives you a moment in time. Because remember, the Bible says a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. But you and I can live 80, 90, 100 years, or probably more. But in God's eyes, it's just a moment. So, be in the moment with your team. Be in the moment with an individual. And here's the last point that I want to make, number 7. And this is by far is a leader's encyclopedia of information. What I'm getting ready to tell you about people. And this is crazy because you can have 100 people and know something about each one of them. But here's the last one. Everyone on your team has a story. Everyone on your team has a story. Where did they come from? How did they get to the point to where they are now? What brought them to this point? What were their failures? What were the things they succeeded at? Did they go through a terrible divorce? It could have been drug use. It could have been domestic violence. It could have been low self-esteem. Whatever it is, everybody has a story on your team. And these people are powerful because if you utilize them in the right way, they can reach people who have those problems, who are struggling with drug abuse, who are struggling with low self-confidence. Whatever it is, they can reach them. Nothing reaches a person's heart more than somebody who's been through what they've been through because they know their story. They heard their story. So just remember, number 7 is bad, I'm telling you. Everyone on your team has a story. We could sit around the table and share stories about each other's lives, where we've been, what we've been through, how we picked ourselves up out of failure and became a success. So tonight I just wanted to share these 7 things with you. I hope that they have blessed you. And we're going to be teaching on this thing for some time, on building a team. We're going to talk about some other things that we need to do, effective communications, clarity, a whole lot of things, because we need to focus on one thing at a time. So tonight, what did we talk about? We talked about building a team, right? What did we say? Choose good people for your team. If you're just getting on, write this down. Number 2, get to know your people. Know them in and out. Number 3, have the ability to win with people. Win-win, both ways. Number 4, create your own leadership style. Yeah, you're a human being. You're an individual. Create your own style. Number 5, be intentional with everything that you do. Be intentional. Don't put things off. Do it then. Do it now. Number 6, the hardest of all, be an active listener. Learn how, if you don't know how to listen, get teachings on how to listen. You know, it's hard for all of us, but learn how to listen. And the last one, beautiful, everyone on your team has a story. So if you're going to build a team, know their story. Again, this is Frank Muhammad coming to you live in Junie's Productions LLC. We're in the Newlight Enterprise building, and we're at the North Main Medical Center, where we manage this entire facility and working at it. And we're leading by example. We're not talking. We're doing it. So if God gives you something that appears to be impossible to you, it's not. All you need is an idea. One idea can change the course of your destiny. One idea can change your family tree. So once again, thank you for joining us. Reginald Morgan couldn't be with us tonight. He's working on some information and PowerPoints, and he's got other meetings he's got to be traveling to do. Good to see you, Reg, if you're on here listening. So again, we'll be back next week, and we'll have something to talk about then. Until we meet you again, we'll be on next week at 7:30. May God bless you. Enjoy.